Welcome to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. The month of October continues to roll along. That means high school football continues to roll along. We have all the results from last Friday night for you and a look at what's coming up this week for all four of our high school teams. Earl Smith, the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, joins us first. And Coach, 52 points on the board, another big offensive night for the Wildcats as New Hanover takes West Brunswick 52-21 offensively. Wow, Blake Walston, your quarterback, 331 yards, 5 TDs. What a night for the young man.
Yeah, he did a good job. We have, it's been 300 plus for the last few weeks, 399 last week, and right now he's sitting at 113 of 208 for 2,081 yards and 24 TDs. So not bad for halfway through the season.
Yeah, big night for your running backs as well.
Yeah.
I tell you, Wiz Vaughn continues to add up some yardage for you.
Yeah, he's sitting at 24 runs for 369 yards and 8 TDs, 43 receptions, 869 yards and 10 TDs. So, yeah.
Good night, obviously, for the Wildcats. Let's take a look at some of the footage now of some of the plays here for New Hanover in this contest.
Yeah, this is our first score with Wiz. Just excellent blocking. Blake connects with him here, and just an unbelievable run. He runs over DB right here, and then hurdles him and takes it in, keeps his balance for the touchdown. We're getting a little better on our kickoff coverage. That's something, each game we've been kicking off 8 or 9 times, so Wesley's doing a good job of getting that thing pretty deep. Here's a drive kick, and then good coverage here, and senior Nas Brown just makes an excellent tackle where they have to start from their own 12, so good night there. Really good protection all night. Blake steps up here and makes a great throw to Wiz for his second TD. And then, if he gets in open space, it's hard to catch him. He's great speed, as you can see. Here's defense played well. They controlled the ball in the first quarter almost 9 minutes. Tight offense. You see wing tee and some straight tee. But here they try to run a counter play, and our junior defensive tackle, Garrett Turner, just makes a great play for a loss.
So West Brunswick held on to the ball quite a bit early.
In the first
made
quarter.
Some adjustments?
Yes, we did. And here's a great sack by senior defensive tackle, Brandon Caesar. We had quite a few of those that helped out. They only had 2 true scores. We fumbled one. One of our backup running backs fumbled in the fourth quarter, and they ran it back for a TD. Here, defensive end Chris Taylor just keeps playing well. Just another sack for a loss. I believe this is one of our connections from Blake to Cole Tanner. Again, he keeps spreading their wealth, and Cole's got great speed also. Cole, little shout out, he's going to go to High Point University and play lacrosse, but loves football, and you see, plays hard. Troy McCaskill continues to play well. Here on the play, a sweep, he forces it back inside, and there's so many guys making a tackle, it's hard to name them all. We continue to play hard and aggressive. Sometimes our guys are letting our emotions. We had over 100 yards in penalties, and we've got to cut that out. Just getting too emotional and getting some late hits and talking a little bit too much. Here's Grant Daly, who continues to lead our area in tackles with a tackle for loss. Just does a great job of reading, getting into the backfield. Next pretty interesting play is a tip ball by the pass from Blake was intended for Freddie Taylor, and it's tipped a little high. And you can see here Cole Tanner's just going to be aware of what's going on, and I'll let the video show you.
Tip.
Mm-hmm. And again,
in the right place at the right time.
Cole turns on the jets there, and we finally towards the end of the third quarter, we got 3 touchdown leads, and then after that, just didn't do it. And here, our sophomore running back, Bez Howard, continues to have a great year. Here's pretty much a 54-yard touchdown run. He's got he's a D1 prospect, and he's going to start picking up some looks here as a sophomore.
Good job by your offensive line again, protecting the quarterback on passing plays, and again opening up some big holes for your running backs.
Absolutely, and we cut out. We had last week we had 7 holding penalties, and I think we had 1 this game. So chipping away at that.
Well, let's talk about the problems with the penalties. This was a game where you had so many penalties, and you said it was really kind of from emotions, the kids having a lot of energy out there. And as you go into another week of practice, what kinds of things do you work on to try to get them in the frame of mind not to get into those situations where they're giving up penalties when they don't need to?
Right. I've never been one to punish players for getting penalties, unless it's just something that's getting thrown out of a game for throwing a punch or something like that. But a lot of our seniors, they just play emotional, and we tell them to celebrate with each other. Like, we got a celebration, and the official said it was towards another player and things like that. We've got to clean those up. Had one late hit out of bounds, and stuff like that. We just got to stop. And again, it's some of our seniors that play with so much emotion.
Of course, the Wildcats now 8-0 overall, 4-0 in the Mideastern. You go back to a crosstown rival battle where there will be some emotions, playing teams that are right in the neighborhood. So it'll be the Wildcats and Ashley, and you'll be at their place. What does that game mean for you in terms of continuing to improve?
Well, just like every week, we tell our guys we're going to get everybody's best shot. Just like this past week, West Brunswick, Coach Williamson did a great job, game plan. I know Coach Turner's going to do the same thing. And, he had a pretty good game plan for the Hoggard, and that game, was a little closer than I think a lot of people thought. But that's just his coaching, and we've got to be prepared. Our coaching staff's got to be prepared for something new, and do what we talked about, cut out the penalties, and just keep getting better.
All right, Coach Earl Smith, the head coach of the New Hanover Wildcats, victorious this past week, 52-21 over West Brunswick. Take on the Screaming Eagles of Ashley High School this week. Good luck to you, Coach. We'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable right after this. And welcome back to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. Joining us now is the head coach of the Hoggard Vikings, Craig Underwood, and Coach, your ball club took on the Screaming Eagles of Ashley High School. Typical crosstown rival battle, a lot of really good hits, 34-14. Vikings come out on top, but it was a battle.
I'd say tough game. Thought we had a great game plan. Thought Ashley had a great game plan, and Coach Turner and myself, we worked together for over 10 years, so we know each other real well, and that's going to make for a pretty tough ball game, and it did. Both teams played really physical, played well.
We've got some great highlights to show. Let's take a look at those highlights now for the Vikings.
Here we go. Just starting on the defensive side of the ball, they tried to get their jet sweep game in particular going early, and Landon Romano, defensive end for us, had a big night defending that. This is Evan Manning, our H-back, squeezing one through there. Well, I say squeezing, a big hole open by the offensive line. Bill Moore, Wyatt Workman, two guys that really opened that one up. And then this is getting a pass out in the red zone, Josh Jones to Austin Edwards. Great play call by Coach Demick there as well. Down with our defense in the red zone, Christian Holler coming through with a big stop. Really helped us out. This is Isaiah Kemp coming in and punching out a football. A little more gain than I wanted before he did that, but I was able to force a turnover there.
That was a big turnover.
It was. That was a big play for us. Again, here you've got Daniel Eason, Mackenzie Frazier coming through. Just our defensive line making some big plays. Anthony Schiavone on a little swing pass here. That was a big conversion. Again, they played us really tough defensively on both sides of the ball. A lot of credit to Ashley in terms of their efforts here in the red zone again. We gave up a big run. It was frustrating. Poor play call on my part, to be honest with you. That set us up for not a great stop, but our guys were making a stand there, made them earn everything, so that's what we preach. Here's Josh to Chris Tootle. Josh had a good night with the bootleg and sprint out passing. He continues. We don't throw the ball quite as much as some of the others, but when we do, he's completing it. That's C.J. Pipkin. That was an incredible catch on the sideline Friday night. I mean, he looked like he jumped out of the stadium. He really went up and got it. So proud of C.J. on that conversion. A little fake jet sweep, connection to the running back here. This is John Bennett. Again, first-year player, but has come through. That was a big moment in the game. That was finishing an 85-yard drive to really put the seal on the victory. Jeremiah Kim had, I believe, 7 touchbacks in the game. So really pleased with his kicking. I actually thought they were in the end zone on this one as well, but able to return it out and still pin them at the 20. So, again, make teams drive 80 yards, and our defense has done a pretty good job. He's really a weapon. He hit 2 field goals for us as well. There's Daniel Eason and Cameron Kite, Reese Moulton, 3 guys coming through with big stops there. So, you know, honestly, I think we needed a game that was, you know, it was just a gritty game. Both sides, again, played tough. There was some frustration. I heard Coach Smith talking about penalties. You know, we had more than our share of penalties, 70 yards in penalties in the game. 2 of them in the red zone while we were on defense. You know, we had them backed up to 3rd and long, and you know, we allowed them back in. So self-inflicted mistakes. You know, it's hard to win big football games if you're going to do that. So that's going to be a big focus this week.
Offensively, you already talked about Josh Jones, 2 TD passes, his 20th for the season. That's
right.
20 TD passes for the young man. But a good night on the ground for Kenneth Marshall as well, 69 yards rushing and 2 TDs. You had to be pleased with his performance.
Well, I was very pleased with Kenneth. You know, he's running the ball hard. Again, he's a first-year running back. He's been in our program for 3 years, but has been on the defensive side of the ball. So we converted him this year, and when Lloyd Giroux was hurt, he's really stepped in, him and John Bennett. Filling that role at running back, and again, that offensive line just continues to get better. Coach Locklear does a great job with those guys. Dimitri Brown had some big blocks the other night. Our right side's kind of our anchor, Donovan Simmons and Mason McKeithen. I mean, those 2 guys just, I mean, they continue to do a great job week in and week out.
You talked about your special teams earlier, Jeremiah Kim, also your punter, Will Morton.
Yeah.
You really, from the kicking standpoint, you had field position. It was a lot to do with your kicking game.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Will is able to really flip the field. He's got a great leg. The guy that doesn't get noticed a lot of times is Liam Crowley, our long snapper. He's ranked nationally in terms of long snapping with his accuracy and speed. So that really sets Will up for success. Some great coverage the other night. Kate Edwards getting down the field and down in the football. Like I say, helping flip the field. So those 3 specialists, Will, Jeremiah, and Liam, a big part of us being 8-0 right now.
Overall, defensively, obviously you held Ashley to 14 points. They did have a couple of big plays.
They did.
The big run and play with Thames. They were able to get some good action from their quarterback, scoring on some sweeps as well. And so they did score on you. But defensively, what do you got to do going back to the drawing board?
Well, you know, I mean, there were some points of frustration. You know, we kind of knew the bootleg was coming and we didn't execute there, and there were some points on that. But, you know, I went back and really broke it down, and, you know, we gave up 163 yards of total offense, 71 on 1 play. So, I mean, overall, I think there were 7 3-and-outs in the game. I mean, as much as we're going to correct things, you know, I'm pretty proud of the way our defense played.
Up next, North Brunswick on the road.
That's right. Yep. Going into North Brunswick, never. I have not played there or coached there to this point, so excited about a new opportunity.
All right, Coach, thanks so much. The head coach of the Hoggard Vikings, Craig Underwood, victorious. The Vikings winning over Ashley last week, 34-14. Take on North Brunswick this week. Good luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable right after this. You are watching the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host. We are continuing our discussion of high school football from last week, and joining us now is Ashad Yeoman, the head coach of the Lainie Buccaneers. And Coach, a great win for your ball club, getting back into the win column. Your team now 4-4, 2-2 in the Mid-Eastern with a win over Topsail 14-10. And this was a game where your defense came up with some big turnovers.
Yeah, we did, but we gave up a lot of yards defensively. Struggled tackling. That's one of the things that we try to pride ourselves on. So got to get back to that, working on it every single week. But it's a testament to those guys and the job they did. They came out fighting. We were down at halftime, and it was just a culmination of what we were talking about throughout the week of, you know, it was going to be a big game. I tried to reiterate that to the kids, and then, you know, being down at half, it was a great opportunity for us to come together as a team and just, you know, fight for this victory. And that's exactly what it took, team effort.
Coach, we got a lot of great video to take a look at. Now let's look at the highlights for the Bucks.
Absolutely. So, you know, they're driving the ball on us. This is their first drive with it, and, you know, they're down to the goal line area, and we come up with 2 stops. There's Saquon Yeoman coming up with a 4th down stop for us, getting in great position to make a play. And then we got to get out of the end zone. We're backed up. We get the ball to Alfahim Walcott. He's a senior for us. He's a great athlete. Just got to get his mind right sometimes on what he's supposed to do as far as execution throughout the week. But great overall effort from everybody all around. And there's the option again, Alfahim Walcott, giving him the ball because he's a playmaker for us. We just got to make sure that we get him in position to make plays. And there he is again, coming off the edge. We run the jet sweep with him, and he's getting some great yards for us. He was a huge part of our success all night long. And then Sherrod reading the option there and just taking that ball and having a nice physical run, getting us down into the red zone area. We go sprint out. Not the greatest job with his shoulders. I work on that, but that's again a throw to Alfahim Walcott to help set us up for possibly a 1st down. But we had a penalty that ended up, killing that drive, and we get a turnover. Again, we get great field position. Sherrod squaring the shoulders up, and that's a great job by Matthew Sims. He's come along very nicely, and then capping it off with the run there. One things that we struggled with Matt Sims was his hands, and that's a testament to him and all his hard work. And then there's Carl Lane coming in on a fire blitz. He came up huge all night long. Whenever I sent him, and sometimes even when I didn't, he was in there, making tackles for no gains or 1 or 2 yards, coming from 10 to 12 yards in the backfield. We're really going to miss him. And there he is again, coming up from the safety spot, just, reading it and is making a play. And that's a great job by him, being a senior and stepping up for us big. And there he is again, coming up with some big plays.
And his name called out a lot.
He sure did. And then, they run the option. We ended up getting them in 4th down situation, and then there's our senior Matthew Scott coming up with the block for us. That was huge momentum for us. We were still down, and they were about to kick the field goal to put it in, and we get a drive, and there's our 2-point conversion again to make it 4 points instead of 3, because if we kick the field goal, we're only up by 3 points, so that gives them an opportunity to possibly tie it with just a field goal. And that field goal kicker was accurate all night long. We just blocked that one. But, that's a great effort on our guys' part to, put it in a situation where they had to score, and we just came up big.
This was the night where you do get behind, you're down at halftime, you get it together and come up with a victory in the second half. But offensively, finally, Sherrod Sidbury's been your offense all year long, and he, again, gets a TD for you. But seeing Walcott play so well, seeing Jason Billingsley come up with 15 carries for 74 yards and a TD, that has to really give you a lot of encouragement in terms of offense.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, that was some of the things that we were talking about in the coaches meeting about who we need to get the ball to, and we did a great job all night long of getting it to them, and that was a testament to the offensive line, blocking for those guys up front, and them, to make the reads and make the plays that needed to be made. So they're great athletes, and that's a great job by them.
At halftime, what did you say to the kids to come out in the second half and do what they had to do, especially defensively when you got to some of those big turnovers and really things started to happen for you defensively, and you come out with a victory?
Well, one of the things that I told them that we knew this situation was going to happen, and it was just coming to fruition all week long. And then defensively, our biggest problem was tackling. I mean, you really can't do much about that in halftime adjustments besides tell the guys to bring some more heart with and bring their arms. And then offensively, we just need to get them the ball. They were doing a great job all night of keeping the drives going, making 1st downs. We didn't have a whole bunch of penalties, but we did have some late in the ball game. So we got to get those things fixed. But again, we didn't turn the ball over. So that's been killing us the past 2 weeks. So that's a great job by the offensive side of the ball to keep the ball in our hands.
Well, the Bucks now 2-2 in the conference, 4-4 overall. Got to be pleased with that. You go on to play your next opponent. You'll be hosting South Brunswick back at Buccaneer Stadium. So what is that game going to bring to you? Of course, South Brunswick loses to North Brunswick this past week. Every week's a little bit different. So what will you be doing and working on this week to get ready?
Again, just trying to work on execution. I mean, obviously defensively lining up and tackling is that's the easy part, and then getting to the football. And then offensively, just execution. Again, blocking up front because the game's won in the trenches, and then ball security. Again, we can't turn the ball over because that'll kill us. But we're facing a well-coached South Brunswick team, so I'm looking forward to the challenge, and the kids should be too.
Well, Coach, good luck with the contest this week. Congratulations on your win against Topsail, 14-10, a big win for the Buccaneers this week. And
Yes,
you're going to go back home. It's always good to go home. Be
Yes,
hosting South Brunswick this week, so good luck with that game coming up this week. And we'll be back with more of the Sports Roundtable right after this. And welcome back once again to the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont, your host, and joining us now is the head coach of the Screaming Eagles of Ashley High School, Jeff Turner. And Coach, I got to tell you, your team played so hard against Hoggard. You had to go over to Hoggard Stadium and take on the undefeated Hoggard Vikings, and your kids really came out ready to play. You go down 34-14, but it was much closer than that.
Yeah, I agree. I was very proud of the kids on how they acted, how they came to play, how they believed that they can do it. It's just really a cool thing to see how character is building on these young men, and I can see it because I've seen it for years with them and how they've grown. So they came to play and really felt good about it. Like you said, I mean, we're going 17-7 at the half, I believe it was, and we get the ball, get momentum second half after a 3-and-out, fumble the ball, and then they get a long play on a third and like 17 or 19, I believe it was. We had a mental lapse there. And so you're right, it was very close. Proud of my kids. Doesn't take the hurt away on those days, but really proud of them and how they battled, came to play, and believing in themselves and really building good character, which is really, really good to see.
Very good, Coach. Got some highlights now for the Screaming Eagles. Let's take a look at the video and see what's.
Yeah, defensively, you know, it just kids did a great job just lining up. I think this, you know, right here, he missed the first play of the game. He threw a long pass, and Cade Jones came up with it, which I thought did a great job. Little scramble here, sack quarterback. Freddie Thames right here cuts it and
That's that
trucks
big
it
run
down
right before the half.
Big run there. Finally open up a hole. And then Logan Black brings it in on a naked bootlegger here and sort of outruns the guy going to the corner, which was nice to get before the half. Aaron Lease, field goal. Wish we could have gotten him out more. You know, our game plan was really good, but I think the first half really hurt us. This is the first, no, it's just another play. Good defense by our cornerback. Great job. You know, is to have field position. Field position really hurt us the first half. We got a pick down, and I think it was on the 2-yard line. Good fumble recovery there. Real reverse by Zach Williams coming around this guy. It's really a speedy little kid there. Offense really started to find their groove as the game went on, and I felt like if we could have kept it on, they started to do some good things, and I was really happy about that. Aaron Lease again. This is little Jacob Brown, and we put some second guys in late in the game. Freddie Thames again, tough run, getting some tough yardage. Good stop right here for a first down. You see, you know, that the quarterback slows down right before he goes out of bounds, and he almost gets us to either try to push him out or nothing. And again, it becomes an out of bounds play. So it's a tricky strategy on their part to have him stop right before the line, and he sort of does it. So it was interesting. I think we got a 15-yarder on one of those, but I was very proud of him. You know, we wanted to work the field position. I think early, the first play of the game, they threw a deep skinny down middle of the field, and Cade Jones made a great play. I was hoping it was in the end zone, but it was on, I think, the 2-yard line, and it sort of worked to our disadvantage, you know, because field position was so bad the first half. But then again, came out the second half and you know, and then fumbled the ball over after a 3-and-out, which I thought we could have moved the ball. So.
Yeah, I think you set the tone early defensively. You know, you held them to 3 points in the first quarter. You're in the ball game again. You didn't have the field position. Their kicking game was good. I had their kickoffs were in the end
Right,
zone.
right.
Their punting was good. So field position was an issue for you, but your kids defensively set the tone very early that the Screaming Eagles were there ready to play.
Yeah, I mean, I watched them before the game. You know, talking to the kids that whole week, I've gotten to know the team and just their demeanor on, you know, and teaching them how to get ready for a game and doing it. They're there. They're understanding those important things that, you know, have to be learned. And like you said, they came ready to play. They believed in what we were doing, and they believed in that they could win. And it was out there, and I thought they did a great job. And then handled it with class at the end of the game on everything. So I was proud of my team.
Offensively, you know, we talked about the struggles for the Eagles you've had offensively, but in this game against a very tough defense in Hoggart, you had some good things happening. Where do you think your offense is right now?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, it's a group that I think early was fighting confidence. And, you know, it's a good group. And I can see right now something's happening where they're starting to gain confidence. And with confidence, they're going to play better each time, because that's the mental part of the game is 70%, maybe even more. And that's where we're lacking. But now they're starting to gain that, which is really, really good. We're going to watch film today, probably a good amount where we can teach off this film for especially the O-line and offensive stuff. So they're learning, and I think we can build off that confidence and move forward and hopefully be better for it. We still, you know, we have a tough time getting the ball out, on passing. I think our run game's gotten much better. So they're improving. You know, this week everyone's working hard. Seeing everybody today, we had a great coaches meeting. The coaches are working hard. I really can see the good attitude, the never say die, and just working hard. It's a pretty cool thing. We're out there working hard together, and we're not going to give up till they tell us we can't play anymore.
Well, your Eagles now return home. You're back in your home stadium, and you'll be taking on the New Hanover Wildcats.
Yeah.
Very quickly, your thoughts coming up for this game this week?
Well, they're extremely talented, very athletic, and of course, since we haven't had many home games, we're just happy to be home. So we're going to enhance that. We're going to have a great week of practice and control what we can control, and enjoy each other this week, and go out and play a football game Friday, and we'll see what happens.
All right, Coach, good luck to you. The head coach of the Ashley Screaming Eagles, Jeff Turner, with us. The Eagles go down to Hoggart 34-14. This week they take on the New Hanover Wildcats. Good luck in that contest. Well, it's another Friday night coming up. Please go out and support New Hanover County high schools and high school football. We appreciate that. Go out to the home games, one at Ashley. And of course, we would love to see you come out and support all four of our teams, whether they're on the road or at home. So again, this is the Sports Roundtable. I'm Tom Lamont. We'll see you next week.